Let's try this again. Let's get personal, y'all. Okay. Sorry, I'm on my laptop. It's low grade stuff. Whatever. Um, this is off center and it's bothering me to the max. Okay. So today I just really felt like talking about my feelings, what's been going on in my life, and maybe some of you all can relate. It's not really going to go too deep. There are all my dirty laundry on via the internet, but it's real. Pokemon Go wise, I'm still playing. The Kanto event just finished. Didn't get any shiny Pokemon. Caught a lot of Mewtwo. Now it's just filling up my inventory. He's good and all, but and he's strong, but I can't put him in the gym or anything. So anyway, this is regarding mental health. And about 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and that was when I guess had my first relapse, and I would say only relapse per that per depression and anxiety. However, living with that kind of mental illness, and hopefully people relate to this, is that it's a day-to-day process. Even if you're taking your meds, some days are harder than others, and if you have a bad day in general, that bad day might affect you just a little bit more than the average person, and you might let it get to you a little bit more than the average person, or you might worry a little more than the average person. I'm still trying to work my way and try to configure my mind to not do that, but it happens. You know, some days you wake up tired, not wanting to go to work, or not even wanting to do anything that day, human interaction wise, just be by yourself. Or that could just be all of us in general. Sometimes we'll have that day. But um, I graduated from college. I moved out here to the DFW area. Things have been pretty good. I haven't really had a relapse, and I'm not having one at all right now, but I'm going to talk about some triggers that have recently happened that have made me nervous and anxious. And now that I know what's happening, I'm going to prevent things from getting worse, or from, everything rolling out into one big tumbleweed, and I just end up back into a really dark place. My parents have to come get me or something. So, um, lately I've actually been really happy. I got this baby. I was excited for it. I have the Apple trading program, so I didn't spend like all that money. I just paid a little bit to trade the phone and the difference. And then I actually have a friend at work who talked about or not PayPal, but how he would sell some of his old stuff on Craigslist to earn just some additional income, some just extra funds. And I'm not in a bad place financially. I'm just a typical American. I have some student loans. It's not like I get paid $10,000, $5,000, $6,000 every paycheck. So the cost of living is expensive. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go post some of the stuff that I don't use anymore and try to make profit off of it. Well, it backfired. Real bad. Real bad. And I beat myself up it's only Tuesday, but from Friday on, because I got scammed off Craigslist. And I'm a person like me that's so involved in technology just should have realized off the bat, or just should have been like a red signal. Don't do that, Nick. Don't do that, or whatever. But I did. I don't know why. And I did it really innocently, thinking it wouldn't happen to me. And, posted my stuff on Craigslist. Here's a story. Posted my stuff on Craigslist. Sorry if it's shaking. Got a response within a couple hours of someone interested. and we exchanged emails back and forth. Even though this was a scammer, the person I was talking to was just really conversational. It was fluid. It was going well. We kind of just built up, I don't know, a Craigslist little bit relationship just to make sure that my stuff was going to the right place and I wasn't getting scammed. So, a rapport, I should say. Built up a little bit of a rapport with him, and finally decided on mailing my items via UPS overnight, and I would get my money. In fact, that's how the scam started. I got a fake email via PayPal, or via PayPal because it was a scam email. It looked exactly like a PayPal email. It had the logo, it had, the tiny terms of conditions. It looked identical to an email. And that email read that electronic funds have been transferred to my PayPal account. And I don't know how this happened, but I opened up my PayPal app and it showed that there was funds pending. So, I got excited. I was really happy. I was like, hey, I'm going to have some additional money in the bank. It's going to help me. It's going to help some of my medical payments and just stuff. I'm not behind on anything, but you could always use help. However, I went to UPS. I overnighted it. I was talking to the guy. He said he wanted me to send his stuff to his business. Red flag number one. Should have known by then not to do it. Not to do it at all. But I thought he was real. I didn't know he was a scammer because, we were just talking so fluidly. And he'd respond to my emails so fluidly. Side note, never gave any of my information. Doesn't know my address. Doesn't know anything. No bank account info. That's all good. But I thought the guy was really a good person, or was just going to work with me and help me out. So then he asked me to overnight it, and I got another email saying I had gotten additional funds for the overnight shipping, which was an arm and a leg. That kind of worried me a little bit because I was coming out of pocket, but I got the email that it was true, and there were no red flags so far. The address was true. The name was a real name. It wasn't anything sketchy with symbols or anything. The business was... It all seemed real. And when I left UPS, I was ecstatic that I had actually done something to, just leave some of my old stuff behind. I've been called a hoarder and stuff, but sell some of my old stuff to make profit. I felt good. I felt powerful. Like, yeah, I did it. I get to have some side money. I get to start paying more off for my med bills, my student loans, whatever. Scam. By Wednesday, when I hadn't received my funds on the PayPal app, it kept saying pending. I was finally like, what's up? And the weird part is that this guy kept responding, making sure, and I guess that's what scammers do best, is he kept asking me if I had received my funds yet. And I was like, no. Did you receive your product yet? He said yes. And I did get emails from PayPal saying that everything was being verified. My funds were safe within their accounting department or whatever. Everything was safe. And that kind of made me less anxious. However, I was already anxious, and then on top of that, I have anxiety. So my mind was going through the roof already, and I was trying to keep it real cool so that people wouldn't think I was crazy. On Thursday, I received an email that I would officially be getting my funds by the end of the business day. However, the buyer who bought my products, his account was overcredited or something. So let's just say he bought my items for $500. His account would have been credited 700, so over credited. So then I got an email saying that he needed $200, or this was an email from the scam PayPal saying if I could wire him money, not from my bank account. None of that info was given. $200 to him to compensate, and therefore he'd get his funds and I'd get all of my funds and everything would work out. That was red flag number 2. I should have just realized that off the bat. But seriously, I was so wholeheartedly just, wow, I guess this happens. I don't know. Uh, I have a brain, I swear. I use it. It's just, I had never been in this position and I should have asked for help. However, I was prideful and I didn't want to tell people, hey, I'm trying to earn some extra money here. Like, that's kind of embarrassing. But I should have. Uh, the final red flag and the final time when I realized it was scam was when, again, the accounting department from PayPal was, um, they overcredited the buyer's account $800. And the guy was still emailing me and still responding. But I told him, I said, I don't have $800. I'm sorry, I don't have that money. And he started telling me to ask my friends or family. And once I received those funds, I would even be compensated like 200 additional bucks. But at that point, I was like, no. Finally, it clicked in my head. So I tried calling PayPal. I was on the hold for PayPal for about 2 hours, and I kept calling, and they said, they'll call me back within 24 to 34 minutes. Never got the call. Call them back, I'd wait 40 minutes, nothing. One time the call dropped, PayPal, no help whatsoever. Emailed PayPal that this had been going on. Finally got an email saying that it was all just a fraud. Funds had never been credited to my account, and they just gave me like this little police report thing to fill out. Did it. So clearly that triggered me, and that weekend, heading to the beginning of this week, which is now Tuesday, I could say I fell into a little bit of depression. I didn't do anything to harm myself. I didn't do anything irrational. But, I did post on social media and stuff like, hey, this is what happened. Has it happened to anyone else? Advice? No, apparently that was a bad idea. Take it down. I did. Thought of starting up a GoFundMe just because of all the crap that I had been through, especially with my medical illness. Fell through. Don't do that. I felt lost, or I feel lost right now. There's no one I can talk to because I feel like if I talk to someone in general, they think I'm acting crazy. With the stuff in the posts I had been posting on social media, which I don't air out my dirty laundry on social media that much, or practically ever. But I did post some stuff just about, like, has anyone ever done that? Has this happened to anyone before? My parents thought I was kind of falling or tumbling down, and so today at work I started kind of, my chest was beating real hard because my parents were onto me thinking that I was starting to relapse. I'm not right now. I'm in a good place. I was just affected in a negative way, and that may have triggered my depression a little bit. Overall, I'm not in a dark place. I was hit pretty hard financially. Like, they asked for a lot of money. They took a lot of money from me, and I doubt if anyone knows how I can recover those funds. Please help me out here. But yes, so Monday I woke up sick. I still went to work because it's all in my head, but I was just clouds of thoughts going through my head so fast. It was spinning. It gave me a headache. Um, and just all these thoughts are like, what if? Like, what if this happens? Or, oh my gosh, I'm going to keep running out of savings, and then I'm not going to be able to afford my payments, and then all of this just tumbling, spiraling craziness, which, probably is not going to happen first off. But, and then, I just didn't have motivation any for that day and today. I I was so emotionally tired, mentally tired. Try to go to the gym earlier. I just can't rack up the energy. I feel like I had 16 drinks and I'm severely hungover, but I haven't had a drink at all. Clearly, I'm talking and I'm coherent. And yet I also just feel indifferent. Like, I have no feelings. My feelings are just nothing. Like, I have no motivation, but that doesn't mean I'm spiraling out. It just means that I had a setback in that I'm recognizing what's setting me back. And how I'm going to solve this is, well, number one, I confronted my family and just didn't keep anything from them. Also, number two, I got in contact with my psychiatrist. I wanted to see him today, but I'm going to see him later this week. And number three, just mentally exercise myself to get these thoughts out of my head, because they're not bad thoughts or I'm not in a dark place. It's just I'm a little bit worried. And unfortunately, with this disease, I worry more than others. So hopefully some other people can relate to this, because I know it's hard to talk to family, especially if your family saw you there at your darkest moments when you were battling the depression and they just saw the crazy side of you. Because if they see anything out of the ordinary come immediately, with what happened to me is that they thought I was falling out of control. And yeah, I was a little bit anxious, but no, I'm fine. And I'm going to handle it. But hopefully this is just to help people. I know this is a long video. If I don't edit it, it's just raw what I have been thinking. To conclude, you're not alone. I know this. Millions of people deal with this, battle with this, and have to face it every day. Some days are harder than others. If we have bad days, people with depression or anxiety may take it worse than an average person, just because it's hard. I'm taking my meds. I'm going to go see my psychiatrist to, hopefully he can help me. And I'm going to just be doing a lot of mindfulness lately. This is to, just also share with you guys that you are not alone if you have a bad day and that something negative happened to me. And I am letting it affect me more than it should. And I shouldn't, scare anyone or anything. So tomorrow I'm going to wake up with my head held up high, not doing anything irrational. I'm poor right now. But just, be thankful for another day. And try to keep those crazy, they're not crazy thoughts, just the worrying limited, so I can focus on work. And I'm going to try to remain positive. So if you all are feeling this, please remain positive. Go reach out to someone if you are feeling sick. Don't hesitate to contact me. This is Nick. Sorry for the long video. I may edit it. also just kind of like the rawness of what I was feeling, what I've been feeling. I know it wasn't perfect, but this is real. This is what I felt. Tomorrow's going to be a better day. I'm going to make it a better day. And hopefully you will too if you had a bad day.